Hey, Professor Sunflower here, back with another video. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I am trying to figure out, last time when I did my video about parenting, I could not see the comments. So I'm going to try to make sure that I can see the comments today. So bear with me, share this live video if you like, while I figure out the live portion of this, okay? Because mm, I think I'm live. I should be live. I don't see myself live on here though. Where am I? So today we're going to talk about life skills. We're going to talk about life skills. So creative parenting and life skills. I think life skills is a really, really important topic because I see a lot of kids um, who are lacking, for lack of a better word, who are lacking in life skills. I see a lot of lack, and I think that we don't understand that everything we do for these kids is very important. If they're neurodivergent or if they're not neurodivergent, life skills is essential. They need to know how to um, live life outside of themselves. They need to know how to cook. They need to know how to clean. They need to know how to um, wash clothes. They need to know how to uh, color coordinate their clothes. They need to learn all of these skills. And what I find is that parents, for lack of a better word, I'm not going to use the coddling word. I'm going to say there is arrested development. So many kids are out here, they don't even know how to tie their shoes. They're like 17. They're autistic or with different variations of um, cognitive abilities. They're still wearing strap shoes. And I remember when I was working in a school and I was working with one of my guys, one of my kids, and he said, "Miss Olivia, can you tie my pants?" Now, he was bigger than me and he did not know how to tie his string on his pants. And I taught him, I said, "Listen, look, do this, and this." So I modeled it, but then I made him do it because people are just doing stuff for them. Parents are tying shoes, parents are putting their clothes on them, parents are washing them up, parents are doing so much for these kids, and they don't give them a chance. They don't give them a chance to grow up. They don't give them a chance to be themselves. They don't give them the chance to understand how to complete certain tasks. And I think that robs the kids of the ability, that robs the kids of their ability to learn how to do these things. It robs them of things that they really need. They really need to know how to dress themselves. They really need to know how to tie their shoes. They really need to know how to cook their food, even if it's in the microwave. They really need to know how to wash dishes. Because at the end of the day, when parents are gone and when, let's say there's not another caretaker, right? Who is going to take care of these kids? Who's going to do it? You can't always trust people. Sometimes it's hard to be able to give our kids the things that they need. Sometimes parents don't have the patience to give them what they need. But there are ways to find other avenues, especially with those who have autism. There are different avenues to find ways to find life skills groups. That is so important for autistic kids because at the end of the day, when they become 18, 19, 20, 30, who's going to help them with this? They can't ask a stranger on the street, "Hey, can you tie my shoe? Can you tie my pants? I don't know how to do it." They're going to look at them like, "What?" Because a lot of times kids that are autistic don't look autistic. They don't look like anything's wrong with them, right? So one of the things I want to say about being able to build our kids. Building our kids is imperative for success. We have to teach them how to be responsible for themselves. First, how to think, how to rationalize. That is a skill that takes time, because a lot of times when our kids are young and autistic, we think their brains are scattered, but it's just that they haven't figured out everything that's going on in their brain is kind of off. They just don't understand. And as they get older, they start to put the pieces together slowly and surely by learning, by understanding, by reinforcement, and even by punishment. They understand what to do based off how they're being reinforced, or they understand what not to do based off of the punishment procedures that are used. And I know we don't like to talk about punishment, but let's be honest. Punishment procedures are used in the home. Yelling, throwing a shoe. Let's be honest, punishment, those are punishment procedures. And so they learn by their behavior being reinforced or punished. So some of the things that we need to give our children and teach our children when they're autistic is, one, first, stranger danger. We need to let them know, first of all, how to pick up on when someone is for you and when they're not for you. A lot of autistic children are very trusting. They see somebody that they might have bright hair, nice clothes, something they admire, and they just kind of go over to that person. We need to teach our children how to be discerning. And I know you're like, well, how can you teach an autistic child how to discern? Well, they can look for certain things. They can look at facial features. They can look at clothes. They can look for policemen. They can go into stores and ask for help. Not always asking people on the street, because sometimes people on the street are not safe, but they can't always discern it. So we have to teach these skills. If you get lost, if you can't find your way, go inside of a store and ask a store manager for help. Don't just ask a random person on the street, because a random person on the street may not be able to help you, or they may use you or extort you, or they may even do something worse like kidnap you. We don't want that. So we need to teach them how and who to ask for. Also, in the world we live in, their cell phones, we need to program phone numbers in their phone. If your child is out, if they don't know where they are, they can, I think the cell phones have like things where you can like push one button and it'll call mom. It'll call Miss Olivia. It'll call my sister. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at. Teach them how to look at the signs on the street. I'm at 16th and Chestnut. These are for my Philly people. I'm at 16th and Osborne for my Arizona people. I'm here. I'm there. Because if they don't know how to keep themselves safe, then what? They lost. They don't know to call the police. They don't know how to call mom. They don't know how to do any of these things. And a lot of times I see that parents aren't teaching these skills. Parents are in the rat race of life. They're trying to make sure these kids eat. They're trying to make sure they have clothes. They're trying to make sure they feed them, but forgetting the fact that being safe and understanding how to keep yourself safe is vital. I don't know if some of you might have kids who are autistic who like to run out the house. You don't leave your door unlocked, because in the past this child has grabbed the door and kind of ran out, right? So what do you do? You make sure that you lock the door. You put some kind of apparatus on the door where they can't just get out. It's the same thing in life. Like, we cannot send our kids out here unprepared for the world, because when we send them unprepared, we set them up for failure, because maybe they're 17, 18, 19, and we think that they should just know things. One, they're autistic. Two, they learn differently than other kids. It's not just, they're autistic, so I got to do everything for them. A lot of parents are doing everything for their kids and not allowing them to grow up, not allowing them to be able to tie their shoes, fold their clothes, make their beds, make some soup in the microwave, put your dishes in the dishwasher, put them in the hamper, put them in the wash, put some detergent in there. Say hi to Sugar Booger. This is Sugar. This is Sugar. She want to say hi. I digress. But we have to teach our kids these things because a lot of autistic people, a lot of children with ADHD, ODD, dyslexia, and different variations of cognitive abilities do not know how to take care of themselves based off the fact that they have a handicap. I hate to say that. They are not handicapped. They are differently able. Because I'm ADHD, and if somebody had told me if I had accepted ADHD as a child, I think I would have used it as a crutch. And a lot of our children are using their our diagnosis as crutches. Well, mommy, I can't do this because I have ADHD. Well, mommy, it's my autism acting up again. We give them excuses for why things can't be done. And sometimes parents can be part of the problem. And I'm not trying to shame anybody or say anything. I'm trying to show a picture that is realistic in this world about what is happening with our children. A lot of them are ending up in homes where people are doing things to them that they shouldn't be doing because they don't know any better, because everything was done for them. Putting on their underwear, putting on their pants, putting on their clothes, sometimes even feeding them. If you're 19, you can feed yourself. But it's easier for me to do it because he don't know how to do it because he get it all on his clothes. So how is this child, young adult, supposed to learn how to take care of himself? It's important as parents and caregivers to ensure that we give them a roof, clothes, education. But where we lack sometimes is giving them skills that can carry over into adulthood. A lot of times it's easier for us just to do the skill and not to make them do it. And then when they get older, we think they're supposed to just know. How are these kids supposed to just know how to do anything if you have done everything for them from when they were born? And now that they're 21, 25, I'm tired of doing it. They just need to know. They don't even know they don't know the first thing about washing clothes. They don't know. They don't know the first thing about tying them shoes. They don't know the first thing about color coordinating. They don't know the first thing about keeping their bedroom. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how. And then you just throw them out there and be like, all right, I've done all this time and did not give them the skills to do it. So this creative parenting class is about life skills and about the ability to, if you as a parent don't have the time, to find others like me who can help and teach your child with life skills. Life skills is so important for the elevation and evolution of your child, right? So the first thing is we teach them responsibility. What is it that they need to do? You can start giving them small things to do. You don't got to give them the whole thing at once. Hey, start putting your clothes in a hamper. This is how you do it. Model the behavior. Show them how to do it. After they've successfully learned how to just put their clothes in a hamper, hey, take the hamper over to the laundry, over to the laundry room. Okay. After they master the skill of taking the clothes to the laundry room, hey, let's color separate these clothes. Maybe have a color chart. Okay, blacks go here, blues go here, reds go here, whites go here. Just teach them how to sort it. So you're still washing the clothes, but you're teaching them how to separate and sort the clothes, right? So when they're doing part of the skills and you're doing the other skills, you're helping them to build the skills. They know how to like put the clothes in a hamper now. Okay, take the hamper over to the laundromat. Okay, now separate the clothes because you're showing them the skill little by little by little by little, right? So then after a while, then you can say, hey, take that pile of white clothes and throw them in the washing machine. Okay, then you say after a while you teach them how to do that. Okay, now we put a little bit of bleach. We put this much bleach. Have a little cup, a measuring cup, so you can show them this is how much up to this line, and maybe you mark a little line where they're going to use the bleach, right? So now they know this black line right here is for white clothes. Okay, how much detergent? Do the same thing with the detergent, and little by little you build those skills because when you try to teach somebody a skill that doesn't know how to do the skill, you're going to be frustrated, and so is that other person. Your child is going to be frustrated. They're going to be like, I don't know how to do this. And forgive me, guys, if I'm not seeing your comments because the streaming place I'm using, I got to learn how to figure it out. But I will get back to you once I can see it. And Sugar is right here, and I'm about to put her down because she's doing the most. Okay. But anyway, we have to teach them the skills. Frustration is going to come because they don't know how to do the skill. Frustration is normal on both of y'all parts. Again, if you don't know how to do it, you can reach out to me and I can give you some resources on how to find people that can help teach your kids these skills. Okay. After you taught them all these things, you string those together. Okay, you taught them this, you taught them this, you taught them this. You test them. All right, let me see you wash clothes. And you just stand back and watch. And everything that you taught them, see if they know how to do it. And if they make a mistake, say, oh, remember, you don't have to be like, oh, let me do it because you're doing it wrong. Remember, we do this before that. Okay, and if you need to go over and do graduated guidance, do that too. Because at the end of the day, these are our children. These are the future. We can't just leave them flapping in the breeze, which is what I am seeing at 16, 17, 18, 19. These kids don't know how to do a lot of things at these tender ages. And also teaching them about puberty. You know, when we have typical teenagers, one of the parents kind of is brave enough to teach these kids about the birds and the bees. Y'all know what I mean when I'm talking about the birds and the bees. Hold on, I'm getting a little hot. Let me drink my water. The birds and the bees. And these kids are artistic or different variations of cognitive abilities. They're feeling these in their body and they've never been taught, and they're getting scared. I witnessed this. They actually thought they were doing something wrong by having these feelings in their body because we are not teaching our children about the birds and the bees, whether they are typical or non-typical. They need to know this is normal. Life skills involves teaching them about their body, you know, and they're doing different things. If you don't teach them, they're watching stuff online. I knew one little boy, he was watching online, he was watching urination, periods about menstruation. We would look on his computer, and these are the things that we would find on there because nobody was taking the time to teach him and tell him about these things. So he was looking it up on the internet. I'm telling y'all, if we don't teach our kids about the birds and the bees, that's part of life skills, they will learn it somewhere else. And sometimes it turns into a deviance, okay? Because they are getting misinformation from the internet. The internet is not a place you want to learn about the birds and the bees. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of stuff out here. So we have to be mindful that even though our kids are artistic or have different cognitive abilities, we have a mandate to teach them about the birds and the bees, in addition to the other things, because just because they're neurodivergent doesn't mean you can skip steps. You don't have to tell them. Their bodies are going through changes and they are scared. Stuff is bigger. They feeling stuff when they see certain people. They don't understand. So we have a mandate to make sure that part of life skills is talked about. You have to be brave, guys. You as parents have got to be brave as it concerns building your child's repertoire with these skills. Because if you don't do it, somebody else will take the opportunity to teach your child. And when somebody else teaches your child and they do not learn the right way, who are you going to blame? Well, where did they get this from? And then ask yourself, did you teach them? No, somebody else taught them. It's your responsibility to make sure these kids have what they need. Another thing we have to do with children and life skills, we have to set clear expectations. I'm going to breathe right there because I feel like that is not happening. We tell kids, sit down, go pick that up. But we don't make sure what we're saying to them is clear. Go put the clothes in the laundromat. They don't know how to do it. Then they mess it up. They didn't put bleach in the white clothes and all that. You have to show them. You have to teach them. You have to be the first. Parents are the first teachers. I'm a teacher of these students, but parents are the first teachers. And I'm teaching parents a lot of times. Okay, have you set the clear expectations of what is supposed to happen in this house? Well, no, they're supposed to know. And I say, well, how would they know? Because we've always done this. Always done what? Like, I have to get down to the root of really what's happening in the home, because parents just assume that the kids know because we've always done it like this. But they've always done it wrong, or they always haven't understood. But because parents don't always take the time to see what's not being understood, it's missed over. So setting clear expectations for the kids and what is expected, even just having like some kind of chart on what to do and how to do it. First, you do this. Second, you do this. Third, you do this. Fourth, you do this. Fifth, the goal. You're done. Yay! You get rewards. You get your money, your allowance. You get, I don't know, whatever it is you want to use as a first you do this, then you get this. A pre-med principle. That's the ABA term. I digress, y'all. Grandma's law. But we need to set expectations of our kids, and we can't just assume that they know. We cannot just assume that they know, because if we just assume that they know, we're going to be sadly mistaken. Okay, guys. Also, we have to give age appropriate tasks. What I find in teaching these parents and the students is that sometimes parents are giving non-age appropriate things to their kids. So it's appropriate for a 16-year-old to be able to fold their clothes and put them away. But because parents don't always want to take the time to teach them, it's like, I'm doing everything for you. You don't have to do anything. And then when there's an entitlement, there's a cat again. Sugar wants to be in the limelight. Hi, this is Sugar, that Spinksy baby. I'm in class. I gotta go. So, and then we wonder where these entitlements come from. Well, the kids are entitled because you've always done everything for them. And now you're expecting me to clean my own clothes when you've been cleaning my clothes for 10 years. I don't understand why you expect me to do this. But guess what, parents? All the while you are displaying arrested development, doing all these stuff for the children, they can clearly tell you what you should be doing. They have clear enough expectations of you to tell you what you should be doing. What does that say? They know. Kids know. They telling you, Mom, you've been washing my clothes, but you've been doing it because you felt like they couldn't do it. But they got sense enough to tell you, I ain't washing my clothes. So what does that say? They can do it too. If they have enough expectation of you to do it, that means they can expect themselves to do it too. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. So we have to be able to set the boundaries, the expectations, and we have to let them know, like, this is what is required. And this is why this is required from you. A lot of times we're teaching our kids stuff, but they ask why. And the old school parenting, don't ask why, do as I say, not as I do. We do not live in that portion no more. I grew up in that, do as I say and not as I do. And child, when the parents wasn't there, I did what I wanted to do. But we don't live in that. We can't just say, go do this. You are the model of the behavior. You have to model it. You don't want them to cuss and you hear them cussing. Well, you got to stop cussing around them. No, I don't. I'm grown. I do what I want. Well, they're going to keep doing it because they keep seeing you do it. You are their first teacher. You are their first model. You are the person that they are looking up to, guys. You have got to understand that you are their first teacher. You're the person that's going to set in stone where they're going, right? You're setting it in stone. So you have to remember that you have a huge responsibility when it comes to your kids to set boundaries, teach responsibilities, and show them the way. I work with parents and I work with students. I teach and I train parents. Matter of fact, I had some parents yesterday. I went to see the parents and I'm helping them set expectations for their home, right? Because they have 2 children that they've adopted and they are allowing things to just spin out of control. Well, here I am, I'm coming, I'm assessing what's going on. I'm letting them know I'm having parent training. I am working with one of the children and the other child I don't work with, but I have to help them set rules with this child too, because it's a free for all in that house, right? And so if we do not teach our kids how to be responsible and set limits for themselves, and especially when it comes to the birds and the bees, they are going to learn any way necessary. And let me tell you, you don't want them to be online looking up certain stuff like what I seen these kids looking up. Woo, baby. I was like taken back, like, oh my goodness, these poor babies. And you can't really, I wasn't there for that part. So we could only try to stop them from going to the sites. But especially when they don't have that access at home, they on the computers at school, like, ooh, let me see, and they're talking to people on Discord. Watch Discord, y'all. Discord is watch your kids on Discord. They talking to strangers. Okay, I digress. So I just want you to know that it is important as parents, guardians, and people who work with our kids. Life skills is a vital, vital, vital part of what we do. Life skills is the key to success in moving into adulthood. And a lot of times we parents don't see that far. They can only see as far as what's ahead of them today, tomorrow, whatever. But they're going to be 17, they're going to be 18, they're going to be 20. And you're going to expect more out of these kids, but you can't expect more out of them if you haven't taught them or giving them the tools to be successful in their life in this way. And if you don't feel comfortable having the birds and the bees conversation, then you can hire somebody like me that can help this, because they can ask questions and don't feel ashamed. Of course, I don't just come in and say, oh my God, the birds and the bees. We built relationships. We built trust first. We built all of these things in order for the kids to feel comfortable to start asking questions and building up a relationship with me so that they can feel safe and asking questions about things that they need. Because if they don't have support, they are not supported. And they get into trouble because they're curious. They're kids. Kids are curious, y'all. They are so curious. And then parents get mad at them for being curious when they haven't taught them. So I am on my way out, but I just wanted to do this video and share it with my families that I work with. There are some families that have reached out to me about services, and I just want to give you guys just a taste of what we'll be doing in my creative parenting course. So I am going to drop the link when this is over where you can find my course. I am preparing for the course to come up. So I just want you to know that the parenting course is coming, and it will be, it's going to be reasonable price so that you can get all the tools and skills that you need for your kids. Because out here, I'm seeing so many things with our kids. And what Whitney used to say, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Here we go. Here you see me out here singing. But anybody know, for real though, I'm serious. The kids are the future. And if we don't teach the future what needs to happen, it's going to be bad. So I love you guys. Nia Koma, which means take heart. I will see you in the next parenting video. But happy Sunday, and eat well. Eat something good for me, all right? Peace.